Hello, everyone. This is Addae Moon, the Associate Artistic Director at Theatrical Outfit, and I am honored to have two Atlanta theatrical luminaries in the space with me to talk a little bit about our second production of A Christmas Story. And that is the brilliant Rosemary Newcott and the phenomenal Tom Key.
We
Thank
maybe
y'all for
get
being
together
here.
every morning and hear you say this.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll just call me and I'll do it on your voicemail.
Recording.
Okay.
So guys, year two. How are you feeling about going into the show again in a few days?
Yeah, we go on stage in a couple of days. Well, actually tomorrow. It has been so much fun.
Mm,
I love returning to the story, to these people, to these ideas. You always look forward to your time in a rehearsal space, working towards a piece that is joyous. But I've been really thrilled about how much I've been affected by it this year. So
oh,
I'm
that's
very
awesome.
excited about putting it together.
Yeah.
Tom,
Yeah, I agree about that. You know how you have a memory of something that you've done and accomplished, and it was a terrific memory of the of last year's production. And it surprised me how as soon as I opened the script a few weeks before we started rehearsal and just went through the lines, it all came alive to me again as
Wow.
though in the year that's passed, it's multiplied and percolated and marinated and held up as something, as a story that is truly uh, celebratory. It's so much fun, especially just being on stage with those young people.
oh
Yeah.
me.
And the story is, when we laugh together, we get so drawn in and connected with one another. And then it delivers such a sweet, sincere, for every kind of person, regardless of our approach or experience with this holiday, that is wonderful. That's
Mm,
wonderful. And meeting the new members of the cast and working with Rosemary again and seeing it come together, it's um, it reminds me of something when I'm directing and I say to actors, you're going to be better tonight than you were last night, but not as good as tomorrow. And I think that the same thing is true. It's going to be an even richer, more meaningful, um, delight, delighting story, just because we have another run at it.
yeah.
There were two gestures that Rosemary blocked, just two gestures in two different scenes. And as soon as she did it, all of the actors in the room went, "Oh!" And
Wow.
it wasn't there last year. Just a little
Uh,
touch of
You know,
something. It just takes it to another level.
it
mm,
is so interesting because part of that happens because you've been through the experience of the play before, and you know what you wanted to express, so that when you
Mhm.
come back to it, you're a little bit heightened as to, oh, this moment needs to be this.
Uh,
And then I throw it at the actors because they're the ones that can find it. And I say, well, what would your character do if this were the moment in time where you're experiencing this? And these young people and our returning vets too, the same way, coming up with new and different ways to express these moments to
mhm,
make the play richer. So
mhm.
mhm.
yeah, I'm thrilled to be returning it. It is something about a remount that if you don't come into it as, oh no, let's hash this out again. No, if you come to it with, no, let's bring vitality, new life to something
Mhm.
we're already happy about, and see what happens. And that's what it's felt like every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So we do have some new, as you guys may have heard, we do have some new young cast members in the show. Rosemary, what are some other new things that audiences who saw the show last year can expect?
Oh, well, I don't want to give everything away, but we do
Okay.
have a new set design, new lighting design, and it's very exciting because it is kind of bumping it up to a new level. And okay, one thing I will give away because I should. Those that are probably interested in this, Santa Claus will be appearing within the production. He was a voiceover last year. This year he is
Yeah.
so that is something exciting and different that I can say is happening. There's some other wonderful additions that Mr. Key is bringing to the program. And hint that if you want.
Yeah.
You want to give a hint about that?
Well, let's say I love to sing, and I love when people who don't like to sing along with me. It's amazing how these songs, you start singing, and all of a sudden, all the adults, tired or exhausted or cynical or whatever, they all look at you like children, and we're singing our favorite song. Everybody's so into it. It's a wonderful kind of surprising touch to this production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, Santa and Mr. Key in a sing along. That's enough right there.
That's just
So it's a year later. We're about to enter two holiday seasons, actually. And the world has changed a lot. Especially with a lot of recent events. I would love for each of you to talk about why stories like A Christmas Story are so important for us, both in this holiday season, but also with some of the challenges we have facing us.
Yes. And I will report that it was not, what's the phrase? It was not lost on me when Matt talked to me last spring about doing the show again and thinking, oh, wow, this is going to be a consequential year. And I am reminded, so a lot of my commitment to do it, and then what surprised me as time drew closer and entering into the rehearsal process for this wildly optimistic story about who we are and why we're here and what matters and what doesn't. I was reminded of how beliefs and positions and ideas and principles can hold up so long. And then there comes a time when we have to enter a story that is true of us in order to learn better how to be a human community. Right. And only story can do that. It doesn't ask you to take an agreeing or disagreeing position. Right. The audience resonates with, yes, this is who we are, and life is good, and we belong to one another. And I remember last year, I was so full of gratitude and joy backstage with Max, who's playing young me, and all of us are sort of crammed back in backstage waiting to go out. And there's this fantastic musical version of We Wish You a Merry Christmas playing under the applause. And Max and I would run out on the stage, and it was just so intensely, as the stories, we were at the zenith of our joy, and I remember thinking, remember this, it's possible to feel this. Okay, that was last year already in this rehearsal, showing up for work with one another. in the middle of our human experience. And that sense of it's good to be alive and there's an unshakable goodness about us that this holiday evokes and celebrates. And I'm even more grateful that this is where I am at this time telling
Amen.
that story. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And note to self: never follow Tom Key when you speak, but I will.
Oh, please.
It's hard for any of us to do.
Please do.
You both so much. I think, for me, everything that Tom said is so authentically true. And to add to that really is the fact that it's really about family. I mean, it starts with a very core family. I mean, Gene Shepard wrote it about his family. But, in this version of it, it's expanded. I mean, his family and then his friends are part of it too. So there's no way you can't find an entry place to some sort of family feeling you would have had, might have had, will have, or long to have. It's all in there. And I think that was the power of the movie when it came out, is that even if you weren't a fan of Shepard, you still would watch that and say, oh, this reminds me of somewhere in it, someplace you find it. And that doesn't happen all that often, and it is something that is also the core of the production, that finding family, for good or for bad, is like a true thing. And it's something that unites everybody, no matter who you are, no matter what you believe, that a family is important, that relationships are important, and that love between us is. And I think that this piece really does that. I find myself sitting in there smiling. I mean, how many times have I watched this thing and I'll find myself smiling or tearing up or something? I say, what are you doing? And it's just because the performances and also what this memories this also builds up in me. So you can't lose with that.
No, you can't. You can't. And I just want to thank you both for bringing your wisdom and your grace to lead this process and to lead this production. And as Tom said, I mean, story is the thing that brings us together, and story is the thing that heals us. And so, I'm encouraging everyone to come see this wonderful, joyous story about family and about community. And bring your family and bring your community to come experience this. And Santa will be there. You can get to sing with Tom.
What's not to like?
What's not to like? Thank you both so much. I cherish and adore you both so much. Thank y'all.
You too, Addae. You too.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.